real hot about what you want to be. Step forward. Everybody just do you.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.
Galera do Mundo das Lutas, Mamãe Steak me mandou mais uma vez para São Paulo para mais um conteúdo especial para vocês. Então, como vocês sabem, já tivemos aqui Charles do Bronx, Alex Poitin, Caio Borralho, Jailton Malhadinho nos últimos tempos. E hoje é um cara especial, então se vocês quiserem continuar vendo esses conteúdos especiais aqui no canal Encarada, vai fazer sua aposta lá no site da Steak usando o código Encarada. É muito importante para a gente continuar produzindo esse tipo de conteúdo especial. E hoje a gente vai trocar uma ideia, vai fazer uma resenha muito maneira aqui direto de São Paulo, no visual irado, com o gringo mais brasileiro da atualidade. Chega aí, Garry.
Fala aí, irmão.
Fala aí, irmão. Já aprendeu até como o carioca fala.
Já.
Ian, obrigado por esse tempo, obrigado por trocar uma ideia. Mostra que o Ian tá até descalço, ele tá muito em casa, tá muito tranquilo aqui no Brasil.
Sim.
Se sente bem demais, né, Ian? Para começar, explica como é que funciona essa tua relação com o Brasil. Nos últimos tempos a gente tem visto o quanto você tá por aqui, viajando, fazendo os treinos agora na shootbox. Como é que surgiu essa relação com o Brasil?
I love Brazil. I love everything about Brazil. The fact that my wife is Brazilian and we have a connection to Brazil means so much to us to be here for her family in Belo Horizonte. But to be in São Paulo, to have the ability to go and train at Shoot the Box, to train Jiu-Jitsu with Amy and Maya, but it's more the energy, the weather, the food, everything. It's so special and I'm completely in love with it. So it's a blessing to be able to be in Brazil.
Ó, a galera percebeu que eu fiz a pergunta em português e ele respondeu em inglês, porque o Ian entende perfeitamente o português.
Eu entendi muito. If I don't understand something, I will ask.
Mas eu vou fazer algumas perguntas para ele em inglês também, para ficar mais fácil, para a gente desenrolar melhor nossa resenha.
Did I get that one right? You asked what it's... Okay, good. Just check.
Perfect. Ian just touched my shoulder, the language button. So now I will only speak in English.
That's good.
Yeah. So Ian, what would you say is the most difficult part of staying every time traveling, especially in Brazil? I know maybe the weather can be difficult for a guy from Ireland.
Yeah.
Is there anything that is hard to deal, or it's all good because it's like a math? So many good things.
I think wherever you travel, you're gonna find stuff that's simple and easy, and then stuff that's a little bit harder. The weather recently has been so hot that training has just been like you can feel it when you breathe through your nose. So, I'm grateful and very blessed at the weather, that it's summer here in São Paulo. Like, it's beautiful. I love it. You can't complain about it. But to be honest, there's so much positive that I don't see a lot of negative. The negative is that I don't speak Portuguese well enough. So that's on me. I have to get there. I have to work it. So no, not yet. Yeah, I ainda know. I'm learning.
So Ian, do you have bigger plans for Brazil? I mean,
Yes.
maybe living here, yeah?
Yeah, I would love to live in Brazil and commit to Brazil for at least the next year. I know that a lot of the division, when you look at the rest of the top 10 in welterweights, a lot of them are wrestlers, grapplers, want to take the fight to the ground. So to be able to have that Brazilian energy, that Brazilian culture of like jiu-jitsu and practice it here with someone like Damian Maia, and then be able to train and get that energy and that aggression from the boys that shoot the box, muito importante.
I saw your video with Damian. Do you plan to have anything more frequently with him, or was just an experience?
No, frequently. No, I train with him every week. And he is someone who, when you talk about the greatest grapplers in MMA, he is absolutely top of that list in my books anyway. And I know so many other people feel the same way. He's phenomenal at what he does. So to learn from him and to get his style, his energy for jiu-jitsu, and to learn from him and then add it to my game in some way, shape or form so that I'm ready. I will always like to strike. It's what I love to do. I love kicking people in the head. I love punching people in the face. I love that. But people are going to try to take me down so that they don't have to deal with that awkwardness, because I'm very difficult to deal with on the feet. But if I've been training with Damian Maia for a whole year and training in Brazil, I'm going to be very difficult to deal with on the ground.
And especially in your division, right? A lot of grapplers at the top.
A lot of grapplers. I mean, just off the top of the head, you look at Kobe, Usman, Bilal, Shavkat, Sean Brady, Gilbert. All of these guys are going to try to take me down if they fight. So yes, to commit to Brazil for a year, to do this, to stay here, learn jiu-jitsu, grow, and just enjoy the energy of Brazil, I'm in.
One thing that I think it's special about you, we don't see often, is the way that you are dealing with your future. You are now about to face Vicente Luque, and you train with Gilbert Burns, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and so many other fighters. And that looks to be easy to have this decision of facing each other. How was the process? Did you have any call with him, like, hey man, this is on my table, how about that? Because Vicente also are dealing with this really well, right?
I mean, the thing is, Vicente and me are both fighters. We both respect the sport. We both respect the way of martial arts. If you're someone that I beat, it puts me further up to be a world champion, I'm signing the contract. It doesn't matter who it is. I want to be the best in the world. And when I beat Vicente, it pushes me up the rankings. That's all that matters to me. I said this to Gilbert. I seen him at UFC Sao Paulo. I felt he was a little bit awkward. I gave him a hug. I said, I love you. Give me a cuddle. It's okay. I said, Gilbert, if they put my name down in front of you in a contract, would you sign it? He said, yes. I said, exactly. And I said, and I love you and your family. Well, you know I would do the same thing. And he went, I know. I was like, it's not personal. It's just business. We love to fight. Let's go in there. I would spar Vicente Luque every single day to get ready for Vicente Luque and fight Vicente Luque. That's not something I care about. I don't think about it. It doesn't register in my mind, oh no, you could cross paths. So at some point, yeah, cool, okay, let's have some fun.
Does that change your future at Kill Cliff? Do you plan to go back there or maybe no?
The truth is I have so many options right now and I don't want to be locked down to any one place. When I say I want to base and I want to train in Brazil with Damian and shoot the box, I'm still going to travel because something I like to do is have a nomadic lifestyle and the ability to go and train from somebody and somewhere else and learn and grow because I'm so young in this game and I learn so fast. So for me to be able to go and pick brains of people and have that knowledge, soak it up and make it my own, that's so important for me to be a world champion. So I'm never going to stop traveling and training with all these elite people. But if I keep constantly fighting people at Kill Cliff who have been there longer than me and trained there regularly, live there, own houses there, then it might make it a little bit more difficult. Yeah. So,
but where does this mindset came from? Like living all over the world, looking for knowledge, different people?
Enjoyment, adventure, freedom. You travel a lot. Yeah. Traveling's fun. Yeah. You get to see new people, see new cultures, eat different foods, understand the way people work, learn different languages. This is all cool, it's all different, it's all changing. I find this way more exciting than being in one place and doing the same thing all the time. I would much rather travel the world and just embrace and enjoy different cultures and training schedules because it's fun. And that's what life is about. We only have one life. Let's enjoy it as much as we can.
Let's fucking enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got me. I know, I was gonna curse.
Let's go. So, Ian, we are speaking especially with the Brazilian audience.
Yeah.
What can you say about your upbringings? You know, when you was like a young kid, what did you use to think about your future? When was the first time that you had fighting in your life, or maybe a different sport? Or maybe...
I had my entire life. I've always been a kid that enjoys sport. Like I was the type of kid that the minute I got home from school, I would open the door, throw my bag in and run back out. Upstairs, get changed, go back out. Knock for all my friends, play some football, go do some training, whatever it is. I would run into the house, I'd eat whatever food I had, I'd run straight back out. I enjoy that energy. I enjoy being around friends. I enjoy having fun. I enjoy competition. So for me, as a kid, I loved being a competitor. I loved learning, growing, being fat, being outdoors, playing. So I started boxing when I was 10. I done judo when I was 18, and then I started MMA when I was 19. So it was an enjoyable process, and it's led me to where I am today. And I enjoy every second of it. So growing up, I enjoyed every second of my childhood. I tried to. That's what a child should have.
And how was that for your family? You know, I'm asking this because I know that here in Brazil, when somebody says, I will try my future fighting MMA, professional MMA, maybe the family doesn't understand, and maybe, are you really sure this is gonna give you money and a good life? It was easy for you and your family to understand that you can make that?
To that point, before I go on to my part, if kids in Brazil here want to do that, go do it. Because the truth is, if your mom, your dad, your friends, your aunties, your uncles all say the same thing, but you want to do it, go do it. Because at the end of the day, I don't fight for money. I never went, I'm gonna fight because I'm gonna earn millions, or I'm gonna fight because I can do this. No, I fight because I love to fight. And that's the main thing. The footballers who play for the Brazilian national team, there's so many amazing footballers in the Brazil team. Every single time they put that jersey on, I guarantee they feel grateful that they are one of those people. And it's not necessarily about money. They get to go play football in front of all of their fans. It's the same energy. I want to fight. I want to fight, I want to put on a show, and I want to have fun. So when I was a kid, my mom and dad didn't agree with it. They didn't. My dad got my boxing, my mom got my boxing, but when I left college. I didn't want to go to college anymore, and my mom didn't like that. And she wrote me a note and told me all these things, that it's not good enough, being the next Conor McGregor isn't a plan. Yeah. Well, I had different thoughts. I had different aspects, and why I say, if you want to do something in life and you truly feel like you can do it, and you go into this gym or you feel like you're good enough to do it, go do it and give it a shot. Because I would rather try and fail than not try at all. Yeah. That's my attitude.
Do you remember who was the first Brazilian fighter that you ever heard about? The first one that's...
I don't know if it was one, but Jose Aldo and Anderson Silva. I don't know. I don't know which one came first, but it would have been those two, for sure.
Yeah. And do you have any favorite soccer player? You're talking a lot about soccer. Do you have any?
My favorite player in soccer is purely from FIFA, Hulk. Hulky. My favorite. I used to play with him on FIFA all the time.
A strong left.
Exactly. You couldn't shoot off the right, you had to just cut inside. He was my favorite player. I used to make Brazilian teams all the time, and I remember my front three was like Wellington, Alexander Pato, and Hulk. It was my favorite. He's just a unit, so strong. Ele muito forte.
Okay, let's sit here for a bit. I already saw that you talked a lot about Conor McGregor, that he was like an inspiration for you.
Yeah.
How was that for you to see a guy from the same place of you achieve so many things in life? Was he the number one reason that made you believe that you could achieve so many things?
I don't think he was the reason that I believed I could achieve these things. I think I believed that anyway. But watching him and his career, it excited me to want to do something similar to him. Yeah. So, look, that man is my favorite fighter ever. I love everything he did on his way up, the way he talked, the way he backed it up in the octagon. He was so different to everyone else, and I loved that. And when people gave him shit, he showed up more. When people started talking more about him, he showed up even more. Like when the bigger the stage, the better he performed. And I think that's something that a lot of people find hard to deal with. And I just enjoy it. I enjoy fighting. And to take any inspiration from that man and his career, it's awesome. My
favorite quote about McGregor is that when he said in a press conference, if you can sit here and you have courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
My favorite was the one in Rio. He put my fear on the table.
I'm the king of Rio.
I own Rio de Janeiro. That was my favorite, 'cause especially when he was trying to fight Aldo, and you had all the Brazilians shout, "Oh, am I here?" And he's like, "Not one of you are going to do nothing about it. If this was honestly, I'm a super fan." But yeah, that was my favorite, one of my favorites for him.
Did you have the opportunity, and how many times you had the opportunity to speak with Conor McGregor and exchange experience?
I met him once when I was a kid in a suit shop, but that was just as a fan. But the last time I went to Ireland, we met up, and that was super special. To meet your inspiration, to meet someone who you spent I'm so emotionally invested in everything that Conor does, because I love him. I'm such a fan of his and everything he does. So to be able to sit there, talk to him, and just hear some of the advice he was giving me, so cool. Memories I'll never ever forget. It was so special.
He's a fighter that likes to visualize what's gonna happen in the future. Yes. And I like to ask this for a lot of fighters. Where do you see yourself in like 2 years?
Champion of the world. Champion of the world. Undefeated. Undisputed. Champion of the world. And people will have no doubts. People say now, they say, "Oh, but he won't beat this guy, but he won't beat this guy. He's going to get humbled soon. Someone's going to beat this clown." They're not. But they can try. They're not. I'm going to be champion of the world. It's inevitable. It's just a matter of when. And I think in the next 2 years, I'm absolutely become the world champion. And I'm going to show everybody that everything I've ever said, I was right.
How do you deal with the O in your record? Because for a lot of fighters, you know, I want to retire undefeated, but we also have fighters that say, you know what, at any day, at some point, I will lose my first fight. How's that for you? You never think about this?
I lost the fight at amateur, and it pains me to this day. Yeah. And I didn't lose the fight because the guy was better than me. I lost because I didn't show up. I was like, "Oh, I'm better than this guy. I'm gonna beat him," and he had a boring fight. And from that day on, my whole entire mentality changed. And I said, I'm never going into a fight again and leaving it to the judges. Any fight I've ever had, it's been a dominant victory, whether it's been a finish or whether it goes to the judges. There is no judge can sit there and say, "Oh, well, this other guy won." There's no arguing. Everybody knows the minute that bell rings, my hand's getting raised. So I don't think about the O. I go in there and I fight, and if I think about something, if you think about how much you're getting paid, or if you think about external sources in your life, or you think about the O and I need to remain undefeated, I can't lose this is everything to me, you add stress and pressure to yourself. I don't care about it all. The truth is, all I need to do is go and win. So for me, I only focus on winning, and I focus on doing it in the best way possible. That's it.
We can say that now you are maybe, I don't know if I can say at the beginning, or maybe peaking, or maybe about to
Not peaking. Not peaking yet. No, we've got a lot. I hope I'm not peaking yet. We've got a lot more to show the world.
Yeah, so, but my question is, at the end of the road, when you retire, years from now, how would you like to be remembered?
I want my name to be in the conversation of the greatest of all time. Everyone's going to have an opinion. Your opinion as a Brazilian might be the greatest of all time as Anderson Silva.
It is.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. People would sit there and argue he's not as good as GSP. People would sit there and argue he's not as good as Demetrius Johnson. Yeah. That's opinions. Yeah. I want my name in that conversation. Yes. That's all I want. And that comes from hard work, dedication, and when it comes to show up, I better shine.
And who's the GOAT for you? Do you have a name?
Yeah, I have two. I have two for two different reasons. Conor, because of nobody has done what they've done in the sport like him. Mm-hmm. He has changed the sport. His rise to be a double champ in the UFC, no one will ever and has ever done anything like him. Yeah. So he's in a whole different league of his own. Yeah. And then when it comes to the greatest fighter, technically, consistently, John Jones. Yeah. His length, his awkwardness, his ability to wrestle, his speed, his takedowns, his technique. I believe. Dominance. When
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
13, 14, 15, 16 world title defenses, it's almost inarguable.
Okay, Ian, and two last things before we wrap up. We are here in Brazil. You obviously have a great relation with Brazilian fans and everything that is happening out here. Do you think about one day maybe fighting here in Brazil?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We may have an event at, I think, at May next year. Does that fit your
March,
future?
April. Yeah, we could do that. I'd like to be on UFC 300 purely because I think it's going to be a massive card. I believe that that's when the UFC will try to bring back Conor. I think they'll do a lot of big world title fights on it, so it'll be a lot of eyes on the event. But absolutely, I go out there and I beat someone at UFC 300 and they want to do a Brazil card, I'm in. I tell you one thing, Brazil fans, I am going to get my hands on a Brazilian passport and I'm going to wear yellow shorts in the UFC soon. I promise you, that's coming.
Yellow shorts.
For sure.
It's gonna be awesome, yeah. And last thing, what can you say to the Brazilian people, the Brazilian audience that now know more about you? You're rising the UFC, more people and more people know more thing about you. What can you tell Brazilian people about the, how can I say, a recepção que você teve aqui, o carinho que você recebe aqui, you know?
I feel like the love I get from Brazil is so important because I only want to go out there and represent the best of Brazil. I want to show the world the beauty of jiu-jitsu. I want to show the energy that the Shoot the Box family has. I want to embrace that, soak it up, and then go and fight with that energy. So I want the Brazilian fans to know that when I fight, I am carrying the flag for Brazilians now as well as the Irish. I want you guys to enjoy my run to be a world champion because you guys can say when I win the world title that the Brazilians have a new champion.
And last thing, I almost forgot. We didn't talk about Shoot Box. How's that experience for you so far with Charles Oliveira, Diego Lima, and other people?
I love it. I love it. I think the biggest thing about Shoot the Box that's important to me is the energy. The energy of the team. It's not even so much a team. It's a family, and they really care. And you see it in the way that they all show up every single day, but there's a gratitude and energy to all those kids who come to that gym. I don't know all their backgrounds. I don't know where they came from, if they're poor, if they're rich. I don't know any of it. But all I know is when every single one of them steps on the mats, they have an energy. Every time, every person walks in, bon dia, bon dia, bon dia, they shake everybody's hand. So much love, so much respect. And it's that energy can only make you a better human, a better person.
Awesome. Muito obrigado.
Obrigado, mano.
Ian.
Valeu.
Prazer falar com você. Galera do Mundo das Lutas, fechamos aqui mais uma resenha especial direto de São Paulo, com esse visual legal aqui na Praça do Pôr do Sol, aqui em São Paulo. Se inscrevam no canal Encarada, vão lá na Stake fazer a sua aposta usando o código Encarada para ajudar o nosso conteúdo a continuar. Se inscrevam, larga o like também e sigam o Ian nas redes sociais. E a gente volta a qualquer momento com muito mais. Até lá.
Tchau, tchau.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.